Hey everyone, this is Shahar Boya and you are watching Creativity in Focus, where we highlight a different artist every week so you can get to know what inspires them, their challenges, and what they create, of course. Today I have a very special guest right from Canada, Beverly Oliwa. I may not be saying their last name right, but she is a fiber artist and we are going to talk to her a little bit now. I want you guys, if possible, to share this video with your friends. We have a lot of information and they are going to enjoy, I can assure you. Her pieces are really amazing and nobody wants to miss this. So take a second and share. You are on the Facebook Curious Mondo page. Share that now. I'll do the same here. And then we basically get started and Beverly will talk to you about a little bit of her story and how she got started and everything else. Okay? Let me just try to share here. And don't forget, your participation is also crucial to us. So we appreciate your comments and questions. You can interact by putting in the comments for the video, and I'll read and ask Beverly. How is that? So you can get to know even more about her, not only the questions I have for her. Okay? With that said, Beverly, welcome to Creativity in Focus. Are you there?
I am here. Hello. It's
Hi. So how is the weather in Canada today?
It's actually quite lovely today, Shahar. It's only like, 0. It's like almost melting and stuff. So it's actually been quite good here today.
Oh.
So,
Beverly, I said you are a fiber artist. Is that how you call yourself?
You know what? At the tender age of 60, Shahar, I became an artist. My story is really kind of a long, convoluted one. I'm 63 years old, and I have done a lot of different things in my life. And right from being a really little girl, I grew up in the farm, and we used to, my mom would sew all my clothes, okay?
Nice.
And when I remember I had to go back to work. My child was young, and it was time to go back to work. We didn't have a whole lot of money. And of course, in order for me to have a wardrobe to go working, I landed up making my own clothes, okay? And people were like, oh, wow, Bev, that's so awesome. And I didn't even realize it was anything special. So it was just really quite interesting to see how that all unfolded. And then I used to work for the federal government at a corporate job, and it wasn't a great job. And I landed up having to leave on stress leave. And the whole time I was getting ready to leave on stress leave, my thought was, what can I do? What can I do that would make my heart happy? And at that time, the sewing was something that I did. And I landed up going and doing a one-year class and became a tailor and a dressmaker and worked in costuming, okay? And so that was fun. I really quite enjoyed that. But the problem is, of course, is when you're using your hands to earn your living, it was very stressful. And while I did very, very well at it, it was really hard, okay? And so then I branched off and did some other things, and just recently is when I've actually married my love of working with the fabric and draping with fabric into doing the Paverpol art. I had actually gone to a class, taken a class actually much like what I'm going to teach early in January, Shahar. And I fell in love with the medium. It was so much fun to work with. I was like, it was just amazing. And even with just taking that one class, I stepped out and had a lot of fun with it and made some gifts and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until we're 60, okay? So we're at that age, like, do we keep this house? Do we sell? And we had a whole bunch of decisions to make with regards to how we were managing our life, but I didn't want to leave my house yet. And I landed up being at a trade show and meeting the lady who teaches Paverpol in our local market here. And I'm like, that's it. That's exactly what I can do, is I can become an instructor. I will become a certified instructor. And just in typical Beverly Oliwa fashion, I had landed up meeting Brenda in December. And by the end of January 1st, we started our renovations in the room that we're in right now. And by the end of February, I was had taken my class, finished the renovations, and was hosting my first class. And that was 3 years. It'll be 4 years in February. So,
Wow. And since then, everything has run the way you plan or not?
oh, absolutely not, Shahar. Absolutely not. Okay. Things always, just like today, I was supposed to be all beautiful and have my makeup on and my hair done properly. And all of a sudden it's like, we're ready to go on. I'm like, what? I've messed up the time change. So, but it's been interesting because what's happened is that, number one, well, Shahar, you're laughing at me. I can tell.
No, because I've been on camera many times without the makeup for the same exact reason. But I think, in an age where we are living right now, that we put a filter on every picture we take, we try to look, soft the wrinkles and everything. Actually, when we are who we are, I think it resonates more with people. So
Absolutely.
I don't see a big issue with that at all.
Awesome. Well, bless your heart, Shahar, because you are getting me, Bev Oliwa, all natural today. So.
So it's been about 3 years that you've been giving classes, right? Do you also sell your art? How have you structured your business?
Actually, that has been the absolutely amazing thing that has happened, is that, well, at first I started teaching, and I do love the teaching aspect of it, but I absolutely love working with the medium. This medium is so versatile, and I love to be able to just, like, if I'm having a really bad day, what I do is I come downstairs here and I get my hands dirty and I make something, and it's just so amazing to watch this all unfold. And so what's happened in my business is that I've actually been able to associate myself with some of the galleries in town, and between art markets and things like that. I did try some craft markets and things like that, but certainly the art walks have been a better avenue for me to show my pieces. I've done some work on Etsy, and quite honestly, I've had the best success with, and it's one of the reasons I'm so excited to be, doing a class for you here at Curious Mondo, is because you certainly have mastered the online promotion type of thing. My best success has been just to take a picture and put it on Facebook, and people are like, oh my God, Bev, that's so beautiful. I want it. They'll personal message me, and I will sell my pieces even just online right off of Facebook. It's been an absolutely amazing medium for us to work with. So,
yeah, and what you said, social media is really becoming a huge channel for any artist, at least the artists that are comfortable using social media, because of course I have many friends that really don't like social media whatsoever, but the fact is it can become inexpensive ways to market your business. But you touch on a point that I want to revisit. So you said that at the beginning you were doing craft shows and bazaars in your town, and then you transitioned that more to gallery to art. So you went actually from a craft to art. Tell me what made you decide that, and how was your transition process in that?
Okay. And it was actually, and it was an awareness, okay? Because basically what happened is when I was going to some farmers markets, because they had good crowds and they had a lot of different types of things. But the problem is that the farmers markets, people come expecting to buy something for very little money. Mm-hmm. And quite honestly, my pieces, my bigger pieces, I go from anywhere from $125 to $400 or $500 for an art piece. And people are not going to those venues looking to spend that much money, okay? And with art as well, too, what happens is that people make a connection to your piece, okay? So what it either kind of needs to go with what they have in their home or in their yard, in my case, type of thing. It needs to be something that they can see the attitude off of. Once that personal connection has been made, then of course they will certainly, bring out their wallets type of thing and pay the price. And so it was hard. It was hard at the beginning to consider myself an artist, okay? Mm-hmm. But it was just through the exposure, being at some art walks with some very talented people, and they would come into my booth and they would say, oh my goodness, Bev, that piece is amazing. I love the flow of it. And I'm like, love the flow of it, okay. I'm not quite sure what I did that's working so well on that, but it is. And it's something that I've now learned to trust the process while I'm working on these pieces. If I see something that I like, and quite honestly, what happens in Paverpol a lot is that the pieces will create themselves. If you just pay attention while you're making them, it'll say, no, I'm going to sit like this, not like that. And it's those happy mistakes that really land up being, the intriguing thing of what we make in Paverpol.
The unique point about the piece. I have to read one of the comments we have here, Gisele Cabral. You do wonderful work, Beverly. I love working with Paverpol. Looking forward to your classes.
Oh, excellent. And I can see Giselle's. Giselle's is an amazing artist as well, too. We have some really extremely talented people in the Paverpol world around the world. And I am not, I'm going to be very humble here, I am not one of the most artistic people working with the Paverpol, but I am very comfortable with the social media aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And my goal really is to introduce people to this wonderful world of Paverpol. I know any time that I've shared a picture in any type of art group, the heron that you used, for example, Shahar, to launch this.
Which is gorgeous.
Thank you. And that is actually in an artist's home that it looks absolutely beautiful in Sabina's yard. But when people see that, they're like, what is that? What? You made it with T-shirts? And they're absolutely astounded. So we have a lot of work to do in the Paverpol world, period, just to introduce people to this medium. And I'm super excited to do this with you, Shahar. The other thing that's happened as well, too, is we'll have a lot of people that'll take a class and they have great intentions of wanting to do more. They'll buy a bucket of Paverpol and take it with them, and then they get really intimidated to try and do something on their own. So I think the fact that we're going to be able to do this online and have people work alongside with us, I'm super excited about it.
That's
I think
cool.
It's going to be really, really good.
I only worked once with a fabric hardener. I actually made a doll that was on a swing. Now, just for people that are not familiar, Paverpol is the brand name of a fabric hardener. What really attracted you? So you were creating clothes before, which is very tactile, and you feel how soft the fabric is, the textiles. What made you really think, oh, this is fascinating, this is what I want to do? What about it really touched your heart?
And I'm just going to show you rather than talk about it, Shahar. One of the things that I love is that I can take a T-shirt and create all of these drapes and folds in it, and working with the different fabrics and things like that, and even just working with different weights of T-shirting, you can get such crazy fun things to happen with it. And here's another, this was a silk scarf at one time that had, how some of those silk scarves have that really fun edge? Like, look at that. Isn't that amazing? And no two piece is ever the same as well, too. So it's one of the things that I just most appreciate about working with the Paverpol. And for me to be able to put that fold in that fabric and drape it, and then for it to stay, is really, really what intrigues me the most. And I mean, quite honestly, we work with very humble materials as well, too, because tinfoil and electrical wire is the armature that we're going to land up using. So the shopping list of what we do with this medium is so very, very basic. And I'm sure just about everybody's got some of this in their house. And then the other thing that is so amazing that I absolutely love about this is we get to do a lot of upcycling and recycling. And again, just as an example, this is a broken earring that I've landed up using as an embellishment on my tipsy lady here type of thing. So I don't know. It's I love it. I absolutely love it.
She's gorgeous. I see the image with a tiny delay, but for example, the one you were showing with the book, I think that piece is gorgeous. So basically that piece has wire as an armature, then aluminum foil, and then you cut T-shirts and wrap it, and then you put the fabric hardener, correct?
Exactly, yeah. So once we've got the armature made, so I'm thinking our first class is going to, the first day is going to be about making the armature and getting that all ready. And then what we do is we cut the t-shirting and we dip it in the medium, and then we will wrap the body and seal it. It's really important that it's sealed so that the weather doesn't get it. And then once we've got it all sealed, what we're going to land up doing is dressing our piece and posing it so that it's going to, number one, that the pose is going to be pleasing, that and it's going to be atomically correct. We're not quite as fine-tuned as the polymer clay art dolls are type of thing, because they're a little bit more whimsical, okay? But certainly we still want to have correct proportions and that, and have a, pose that is appropriate. And then what we're going to land up doing is dressing it and having some fun with that as well too. So.
That's amazing. Tell me a little bit about the pink flamingo in the back. How long ago did you make that guy?
So that is pretty in pink. Actually, I'm kind of connected here, so it's going to be hard for me to. But I'll send you a picture, Shahar, that you're going to be able to send along with it. Maybe if I just turn the camera over. There we go. How about that?
What if? Okay, don't touch the camera.
Okay.
Let's show some of the pictures that we have of your work here. Would that be okay?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Oh, you have a fairy there. That's beautiful. Let me show some pictures of your work. Is that okay?
That piece is, her name is She's Hot, okay? And actually, that one is done with the black Paverpol, and I've had some interesting things in recycling and reclaiming, and I'm going to actually, in our bonus class, I'm going to talk about how I did that base on that, because it's actually really quite fun. But the actual basic structure that we're going to be making in the class that we're teaching, Shahar, is that lady, okay?
Okay.
And see,
Awesome.
and again, part of her pose, if you could see the back of her, you could see that her butt cheek is almost is being almost exposed.
Okay.
And that's why she's just, woo. She's
Let's see the next one.
Shy right there.
Okay.
All right. And that's one of my tipsy ladies. My tipsy ladies, and I have to actually give Joan Patridge from Kelowna some huge accolades as well too, because she was doing Diamond Divas, and she was doing wine bottle ladies as well too. And I had seen that. I fell in love with it. And one of the things that I like to do when I see someone else's art is I try and figure out how it is that they've done it, but I don't ask them. I will create my own piece from it type of thing. So, and my tipsy ladies, basically when I'm doing our art walks and things like that, my tagline is I do art for your yard and art for your wine bottles. And these, of course, will turn a bottle of wine, because a lot of times that bottle of wine is your perfect gift idea, and it's totally something that people would love to have, but it sometimes just doesn't seem to be enough. So these tipsy ladies, of course, give that opportunity for it to be a great gift. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have two more. Here's, my favorite heron.
The heron, yeah. Her name is Ruby, because she's a red heron. And I was at an art walk, actually, and Sabina's booth was across the way from mine, and she kept staring at it and staring at it and staring at it. So it landed up finding a place in her home, and when I saw it in her yard, I'm like, I know exactly why Ruby had to go to your house, because it looks so perfect there. And those herons can totally be outside year-round. And quite honestly, once we've done the basic beginner class, like I don't like to teach a heron class right to begin with, because it's too intimidating. And that is Henrietta, and I was an artist in residence at the gallery. So this.
She's gorgeous too.
There. Do you still have me?
Yes, I have you. You did go out.
Okay.
The sound went out for a second.
Yeah, a call came in and I declined it. So that's Henrietta, and I actually had an opportunity to be an artist in resident for 3 days, and it was so much fun because I was able to just work on an art piece and have people come and visit me, and that's actually in the gallery as well too, and that's Marilyn. And again, too, that's a basic beginner piece that we are doing, just taking it to the next level, putting it on a fun base. And quite honestly, I had done that base, and I was checking with my armature to see how it was going to work. And the armature had her legs, her arms just sitting out straight like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she wants to be Marilyn. And so that was the inspiration for that piece, was to create Marilyn. So that's part of my diva collection.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Okay, is this the last one?
Yeah. And
Oh no, look at this.
That's another wine collar that I've done just in the smaller price point, because of course when we're doing art walks and things like that, you need to have, something under that $50, $60 mark so that people will be able to enjoy. And I've developed the technique on the wings like that is something that I've kind of figured out on my own. And again, another little secret that I'm going to be sharing on the bonus class part on just exactly how I was able to get that, get those wings like that type of stuff.
So Beverly, most of your pieces, they are meant to be garden pieces, right? So how long do they last? And I know in Canada, you have a very harsh winter. Can they stay outside?
Absolutely, year-round. As long as we've used natural fibers when we're constructing them, okay? So a cotton or a silk or a wool, as long as, a paper and wood as well too, as long as we've used a natural fiber in the process of making it, what happens is the Paverpol will get soaked right into that medium and it will cure. It takes 2 weeks to cure. And once it's been cured for 2 weeks, it can be outside year-round. Wow. I have a heron in my front yard now that's been there his name is Augustus. He's one of the first pieces I ever made. And it's been in my garden for over 3 years, through the wind, the rain, and the snow, and the 40 below. And it actually has just weathered very, very well. So yes, our pieces can totally be outdoors year-round. Now, we do have some finishes that we do with a product called Art Stone as well, too. And it's more like a powder that we do to create more of a granite type of look. And those ones can't go outside. So whenever I'm constructing something, I will totally let people know, yes, safe for outside, not safe for outside. Oh, look at my husband's online right now watching us as well.
See?
Thanks, honey.
And Beverly, what usually inspires you before you start creating a piece? Where do you get your inspiration?
In so many places, Shahar. Sometimes I'll see an image and I'll just see something that I've fallen in love with a shape or a color. Sometimes in that quiet time when you're going to bed at night, I will get an inspiration as well too. It'll be like, oh, and in fact, I'm doing another artist in residence on Saturday, and I've got this crazy idea in my head. I hope I can pull it off, type of thing. Lots of times too, even just from looking at other mediums of other work that's been done as well too. I'll see a shape, I'll see a color. They just pop into my head. Like, that's seriously. Great.
Now, I've seen some figures and I've seen some birds. Are those the ones you usually tend to create, or do you go and try other things? What are your favorites to sculpt?
The herons, of course, have landed up being my specialty. Henrietta, the last one that I just created there, of course, is the one that, and they seem to be my most prolific piece that I can sell easily, okay, type of thing. So I certainly create a lot of herons and that. I've done some birds, a little bit of birds. I've done the hummingbirds as well too. And let me bring this into the, so this is another, again, this is tissue paper and transparent Paverpol, and with just some of the techniques that I've learned in doing that butterfly, okay. So I do a bit of birds. I had a student come and do a hare, like a rabbit, and that turned out really cool. So I think I need to, my students will push me along sometimes as well too, type of thing, and help me get better ideas. And sometimes I'll even just see a piece that another Paverpol artist has done, like with the Tipsy Ladies.
Just to try, yeah.
And exactly. They never turn out exactly what it is I'm copying, but they create a life of their own.
So you mentioned that this hummingbird, you use tissue paper to create?
Yep. Yep.
How awesome.
There's a styrofoam ball in here and tissue and tin foil, some masking tape, and then it's a tissue paper. And I don't know if you can see, oh yeah, you probably can here, just all the different colors and yeah, some of the, oh yes,
Oh, now I
Jack.
can.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So, and actually Jack has brought another piece around here at the corner. My
Jack, the husband?
Jack is my husband. And oh, good, you can't see your face, so that's all
Yeah.
right. So this is another art piece that I have created here. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but it's the old man, okay? And I literally landed up taking some chunks of wood and you know, again, there's a chunk of wood here, and it was I wanted this gnome to be sitting on a block, okay? I had a lady come and see it, and he's sold already, basically. So
Wow.
I'm just waiting for the
He
rest of the
is
payment.
gorgeous,
Yeah,
gorgeous, gorgeous,
yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah. She's calling him the fairy guy because to her, oh, he's very heavy. So thanks, honey.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, so sometimes, like I say, sometimes I'll see a picture and I'll start with something, and then what happens is it goes off
It
in its
goes.
own direction, and they turn into who they need to be.
Yes, true. Now I see some of your pieces are quite big and some are smaller. From a business perspective, which are the pieces that tend to sell the most? The small one
Def-
or the big ones?
It's a good blend of both, Shahar. Okay, like I say, the small ones definitely my tipsy ladies and my wine collars, because that's an easy purchase for people to make when they're at, you know, when they're just kind of walking around. But my big ones, like I charge $400 for my herons, and people will come by and buy them right at an art walk type of stuff. So that's been really exciting. And of course the big ones, because I land up putting more into them, they take more product, they take more time. And they're also more unique. They can't be duplicated. Even my herons, even though I've done so many of them, not one has turned out the same
The
as the other
same,
one
yeah.
type of stuff. They're always different.
Yeah, that's what is fascinating about sculpting. And do you have a lot of herons around where you live?
Yes, actually, there is a natural habitat here for them,
Oh, nice.
and we do have them. There's a lot of people, and in fact, I even had a student teaching when I was teaching a student how to make a heron, and she had worked at a rescue center for the herons, and her piece turned out absolutely stunning. And because she had been hands-on with a heron, and you could totally see when she was working on her piece, how that energy got translated into her piece. It was absolutely stunning. Dell's piece was amazing.
That's great. Well, if you mentioned that you use social media, where can people go to check your work?
Okay, I have my website. So my creativefirestudio.ca is my website. And I generally have my classes listed on there, and I really have to apologize that I haven't had a chance to get in there to update it. I mean, here's the deal is I can be down here in my studio working, or I can be on the computer updating my website. So it's my least favorite place to
I know.
update, okay?
How
But
many hours a week do you spend sculpting?
I try to spend at least a day or two a week, because of course I have another business as well too. I do multi-level marketing as well too. So between the two of them, yeah, and between family and renovations and grandchildren and all that kind of stuff. So I do.
And
I
and
do.
holidays and something else.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, in the ideal world, I would have 2 to 3 days a week downstairs in my studio. Does that always happen? No, I have to confess, type of thing. But ideally, that would be my perfect day if I could set up. My perfect week would be being down in my studio, creating some pieces of art. The gallery phoning and say, okay, Bev, your pieces have sold. I need 3 more, type of thing. So that's my ideal world.
So how many pieces a year do you think you create?
Ooh, wow, that's a really good question, Shahar. Probably 50, 60, maybe 70.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, yeah,
That's, so you're
yeah.
kind of like me. You're always creating something, even though you
Yes,
don't have the time that you would like
yeah.
to have.
Well, and what I love about having the gallery, Gossamer Treasures, this is a plug for Gossamer Treasures in Wadman. They're a fabulous little gallery, and she's got amazing things in there. So, and quite honestly, having things sitting in my studio here not being shown by people doesn't do me any good. And so she has no limits of how much stuff I can bring her type of stuff, and she's always switching things around. So to have a gallery that will take my pieces on consignment like that has been absolutely a huge boom for me, to have that.
So a highlight in your career so far has been putting your pieces in galleries. What has been your biggest challenge in this last 3 years?
Oh, balancing it all, because invariably, and I mean, this Christmas, prime example, I missed an opportunity to be in a really good Christmas Festival of Trees market, just because I didn't have enough pieces ready for the Christmas season because we got sidetracked with renovating. So it's the balancing of everything, and you know, giving everything its proper time, right?
Yeah, it's not easy, right?
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Beverly, anything else you want to say to the artists that are watching you today? And it doesn't have to be about the course.
You know what? I
I'll
would
give a
really
plug
invite
to
them to
that.
come and watch this class.
And your voice went away.
And my voice went away. Okay. Is it back again?
You're back.
Okay, cool. Excellent. I would invite them to come and watch us in the class. Okay. If you have already done Paverpol and you're afraid to, you know, if you've got that bucket, then certainly come and work alongside us, because we are going to go step by step. And just, I invite you to try this medium because it is so much fun. It's such an intuitive medium, and it's so versatile, and the sky's the limit. Once you learn the basics of how to work with this medium, I think you're going to be absolutely astounded. And the other thing, Shahar, too, is you have so many artists that do, you know, the felting and the weaving and things like that. So much of your other artisans are going to be able to use some of their bits and pieces in what we do here in Paverpol as well, too. I saw an artist yesterday. I just have to tell you this story. And she's a makeup artist, and she's a Paverpol artist. And she went and did a photo shoot of this most amazing headpiece. And she literally created a costume for her model out with the Paverpol with a makeup artist. Like, she's from Hungary. Like, it was incredible. So like I said to her, I said, Olga, I feel like you've married all of the things that I do in this one photo shoot. It was really quite outstanding.
Yes.
So the possibilities of what's possible with this medium is really quite incredible. And I invite everybody to come and watch us and just give it a try. See if you don't like it.
Yeah, I think it opens quite a bit of possibilities actually for textile artists, like you mentioned, weavers, surface designers, and many more that they already love the textile part of it, and now they are going to see what else they create combining those two mediums. So I think it's fantastic, actually.
Yeah.
Tell me, which city are you in Canada?
In Edmonton, up in northern Alberta.
Okay, so think about this. She's going to leave Edmonton, Alberta in January to come here to Utah, and I'm going to take her to a bird refugee. We also have some very cool herons around here, and I want you to see, you know, that bird refuge is impressive here. So I promise I'll take you there when you are here. But Beverly's coming to Utah to teach a course on Paverpol and the sculptures she does, especially for her garden, and she show you some examples. And as usual, you can watch the whole course for free while we are live. So don't forget to go to curiousmondo.com and, you know, reserve your spot there so you can get the reminders once she's here. It's going to happen, I think it's the 3rd week of January, if I'm not wrong, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
15th,
and it's going to be
16th, and
super
17th.
fun. Excuse me?
It's 15th, 16th, and 17th, Shahar.
So there you go. You know better than I do. But more important than that, I think today you got to see a glimpse of the artists and how they create. And we had the chance to see some of her studio and the pink flamingo. in the background, what inspires Beverly. And, you know, what I can say is thank you so much for being here. You can, even when we go offline, you know, you can share this with your friends. So if you have friends that are interested in textiles or in sculpting, where they want to combine things, that's the perfect thing. It's a medium. I heard of it before, Beverly. It's not new to me, but I didn't know people that really were creating art with this medium. And when I started looking, I said, this is amazing. You can create amazing things with this. So thank you for introducing this medium to us. And I really look forward for your class in January. Leave
Excellent.
us with a motivational message for the beginners out there that might be scared to try something new.
Oh, the name of my studio is Creative Fire, okay? And I know without a doubt that each and every one of us has a creative fire that burns inside of us to be creative. And I think that's, I'm going to get emotional now because the creative fire is who I've been since way back when, a long time ago. And that's the cool thing is with Paverpol, we can totally tap into that creative fire that burns in each and every one of us, because I know that everybody has a creative part to their bodies, and whether it's in creating a piece of art or creating a garden or creating food, but we all have a creative part, and I invite you to come and explore it with us.
Thank you so much. That is so beautiful and so true. We all have the fire and we have to give form to that. So thank you so much for those words. And you guys, thank you so much for supporting us and being here with us. Every Tuesday, we bring another artist to highlight and, you know, talk about their lives and what they create. So make sure you visit our page every Tuesday. We try to go live at 2:30, but of course, we are dealing with a lot of technology. Things are not as easy as they seem. So just be here and check it out. But we'll be back next Tuesday with another amazing art that will inspire you to create more. I'm Shahar Boyayan. My guest today was Beverly Oliwa. I think I mentioned the name right this time. And I'll see you back here next Tuesday.